Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a restoration video for you. Think back to when I bought a Bubblecut and a Ponytail, who both were desperate in need of some TLC. Both had greenear and both needed a lot of work. And let me just say, this video has some ups and downs. Some things went horribly wrong in this restoration attempt, but I felt it important to share those mistakes with you so you also do not make those mistakes. I was, however, able to make a good situation out of a bad situation. Stay tuned to find out what I did and how I did it. Enjoy the video. We will be doing some restoration work on this beautiful Bubblecut Barbie and this, well, soon to be beautiful Swirl Ponytail Barbie.
Sure, Jan.
Out of the two, this one definitely has the worst of it. This one was very well taken care of. She is absolutely mint, beside the fact of her green ear. I got her actually at the flea market. You can see it in my video whenever I got her. And she is from the wedding day gift set. And she has original nail polish. Her gloves had never been taken off. Look how beautiful that is. And beautiful toenail polish. Everything is present in here for this beautiful Barbie. Her hair has never been combed through. You can see that right here. Oh, yeah. She is going to be a treat whenever she's all fixed up.
Whatever you say, Cruella.
She will become my brand new brunette Bubblecut Barbie. This one, unfortunately, has seen a better life at one point.
Mold!
I'm always finding swirls with green ear. I don't really understand why that is in particular, more so than other dolls with green ear, but it's usually the swirls who get it the worst. Now this doll, not only does she have green ear, she also has like a lot of mold going on. We can see that there's just a lot going on with this doll. There's a lot to take in with her, but she does have her original hair setting, and look at that original ribbon on the end. So now I know how those were fashioned and styled right there, so that way I can better reproduce it for the future. But yeah, she has definitely seen a better day. She will need some stain removal treatment on her legs. Her arms are really yellow. We're gonna have to fix that. And if you are interested in seeing a video on how to remove doll stains, go ahead and check out my doll tutorials and restorations playlist. She is definitely going to be more work than this bubble, but that's okay. I wanted to get them done together because I wanted to see just how well this treatment will work with two cases of green ear. We have just a common green ear, and then we have an extreme case of green ear. I want to see how well the new stuff that I purchased actually works with two cases. This is going to be something that I'm going to have to do like for a few weeks to a month and just do little check-ins. The supplies you will need for this project will be rubbing alcohol. I use 91%. Some Q-tips, cotton balls, either cotton thread or a little bit of cotton cord, a needle, rubber gloves, and Barkeeper's Friend. Now this is the spray foam cleaner. It also comes in a paste, but I read up that this actually works better than the paste, so we're gonna see if that's true or not. And a little cup to put in the solution. Now let's get started with restoring these dolls. I think I'm going to begin with this one at first. So she still has her original earrings in there. You can see we are going to have to remove them, so I will remove them carefully. There's one. And there's two. Very interesting to see like how weird this one went in compared to this one where it's like all straight and stuff. So, but here are what the original earrings look like for the vintage Barbies. Now that they're out of her earlobes, we can actually see the damage that's going on. Now in her case, it's really not that bad. I don't see this lasting over 2 weeks, honestly, for the green ear treatment. So she's going to be a breeze, and she's so beautiful already. Look how gorgeous she is. So what I'm going to do to actually clean off the green ear is I'm going to take a little bit of a cotton Q-tip and I'm going to remove the head like so. And I'm going to take my Q-tip and I'm going to soak it in the rubbing alcohol. I'm going to go around the ear, and then I'm also going to go inside the head and around the ear inside the head. I want to get all of the green ear gunk off of her before I do any of the stain treatment. And I'm going to clean. Okay, so now we see a difference between this one and this one. It's less green, so that's actually really good. I'm going to clean up this one right here now. And you see like all of this right here, like that is just corrosion from the earring itself. Okay, so now I'm going to soak the other end of the Q-tip and I'm going to go into the head, because as you can see, like right in there, you see that little dot? That's a little bit of green ear in there, and so we're going to clean that up. It's probably going to be more corrosion bits like this right here, which I'm going to get rid of. But yeah, you want to go ahead and get all that stuff out of the head before you start with your green ear treatment, because then it's just going to come back tenfold. Okay, so now I'm going to go inside the head right here. Okay, not much in there. For here. A little bit in there, you can see it. So yeah, awesome. So that little bit of green is gone, but it's still there. You can see it right in there. I don't know if you can or if you can. But what we're going to do now actually is going to be so simple, so easy breezy and beautiful. I'm going to stick my needle into the earlobe and I'm going to go in, swirl around and come out, and that just pushes whatever was in that earlobe out. Go in, side right here, go around, swirl it, and then pull it out. So now the next step that we're going to do is actually floss. In this little bitty bowl, I do have some Barkeeper's Friend already in there, and I'm going to take my little cotton strips and just stuff them in there. Now this is where you want to use your gloves. I'm going to pull one of the little bit of cotton strips out. I'm going to thread the needle. Okay. Now I'm going to put this through the earlobe right there. And when I put it through the earlobe, I want to get it through the other one as well. And this is where you will use your pliers to pull out. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take it and I'm just going to floss it through. In and out. Floss it through. And there you go. So now the inside is clean and ready to go. Okay, now we're moving on to the swirl. You can see just like how badly damaged that head is, and unfortunately the mold has gotten to it. So let us take a moment to actually scrub off that mold. So I'm not going to like fully wash her just yet. It would kind of be counterproductive at this point. I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol, soak it onto a cotton ball, and just rub this on her face like so. Now I feel like we can fully assess exactly what's going on with this poor Barbie. Now I bought her just for curiosity's sake, just to see if I could restore this doll. I wasn't sure if I actually could or if she was too far gone, but there she is without it. She will need a couple things after this. She will need to have her face bleached a bit. She is looking a little bit yellowy. She's just really kind of seen it, you know, like she's not really having the best time ever. Alrighty, so let's take the head off. And let's assess. So unlike the Bubblecut, when you look at the inside of this doll's head, it is a tragedy. Oh my goodness, this poor Barbie. She is going to need so much work. It's crazy. That other Barbie is going to be a cakewalk compared to this one, I fear. But we're still gonna try. We're still gonna try to do this Barbie some justice. So I got my Q-tip soaked in rubbing alcohol, and I'm just gonna go inside the head right here. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't be surprised if this came out looking like the Grinch. Oh, just a little bit of green. I'm going to take my needle and thread. I'm going to poke it through the earring hole right here. Just going to floss. Get all that gunk out that was in there. By looking at this doll, I can tell that I'm going to have to redo her eyebrows, her lips, and I hope that the eyes will be fine. But yeah, she's going to need a lot of work. Okay, so I'm going to take some plastic wrap. There we go. Lay it out just like this. We're going to get our Bubblecut Barbie right here. We're going to get the cotton ball that I soaked in the solution. I ripped it in half, and then I soaked it into the Barkeeper's Friend. Going to place it right here, right on top. Right there. Place one there. I'm gonna go in with the other one. And place it right here on the other side. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap just like this. And there we go. And that is going to hold in the air, so it will give it some sort of like humid compact for whenever we put this underneath the heat lamp. We're going to do the same thing again for the swirl. So place her right there onto the saran wrap. Get your cotton balls that you soaked in the solution. Start with the big one first. Now you don't have to cover the whole doll's face, but again, this doll had a lot of green ear, more so on one side than the other. And remember to wear your gloves. We're going to place it right up here, right on top of the other one. There we go. Okay, so we're going to wrap her again, just like a lovely little gift, a lovely sandwich if you please. Wrap and wrap. Just like so. So just like that. So I'm going to put these under the heat lamp. Although it is true I live in bright sunny Florida, I like to put them under a heat lamp so that it's consistent heat going into the vinyl, penetrating at all times until I'm ready to look at them again. I will be ready to look at these dolls again tomorrow morning so that I can do the whole thing all over again. One day with the greenear treatment, and here's the difference for the swirl. This is 24 hours difference. It is looking pretty good on her. It has kind of gone back. It's retracted back into like the little hard line that it has right there. It was all the way out here, but now it is not so much. and then we'll go to the Bubblecut. So it did kind of fade her lipstick, which is very sad, but I can always repaint that to be a little bit darker. There's one side of the ear, and there's the other. So I'd say this is working out pretty well. With CLR cleaner, you didn't even see results like this without there being a month. So this is the day 1. Can't wait to see what day 2 is like. Hopefully there's some even more bigger changes. Okay, so this is day 3. Results. So one side is almost done and the other one still needs some work. Now, something I'm noticing that I'm not really a fan of is there is some bleach spots right here on the cheeks and on the tip of the nose. I'm not a fan of that.
And that's when I should have put up the heat lamp, because soon after it got out of control.
But yeah, I knew this one was going to be a stretch, but I'm quite surprised by the bleach spots.
Which has never happened before, because I usually mix the paste with the foam cleaner. And I saw this on a Barbie Facebook group where it worked for somebody else, but for me it just made it all bleachy. So maybe mixing the paste with the foam cleaner is really the way to go, and it makes your doll look less bleached and like the Grinch. But that's all retrospective, my friends, because editing Dakota knows how it turns out. So continue watching.
So she's not really had time to like air out, and usually that's whenever, you know, everything oxidizes and it looks fine. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna proceed as normal and hopefully get out a lot of this green.
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
So day 4, this is how she's looking now. This is just day 4. This is like results from like a month using CLR, not 4 days. Check that out. So it's getting more faint and fainter and fainter. Unfortunately, the lip color is now white. I will have to recolor that by repainting it, but that's okay. I'm pretty happy with the results so far. There's some of that little green ear residue. A week from now, this would be gone.
Yeah, okay.
4 days with the swirl. You can still see a big ring, and there's just a little bit more of some green tint for her just to get out. I knew that she would be a tougher one to do because of how infected the area was, but I'm hopeful that this time next week she'll actually look a lot better, but we'll see. Day 8, and I think I'm going to actually stop using the Barkeeper's Friend on this doll. It's basically gone. I kind of want to wash her up and see how she looks whenever she's like all dried out, because she's got like some moisture on her. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to soak her head in some OxiClean and try to get every single bit of that chemical out of her skin. So with this head, I knew she was going to be a tougher one to restore. She's not done yet, but there's a lot of fading going on, and like I said before, I usually mix 2 parts. So I usually mix the liquid and the paste together. So I'm going to actually do that, because with the paste, I never had like these bleaching spots before, which it's repairable. You can go in with your chalk pastels later on, and it looks like there's some more discoloration going on around the nose too, so we'll have to figure that out when everything is all said and done. But at least majority of the green is gone. We're just having some more work to do with this doll is all. I have mixed 1 part this and 1 part this, and I've created a little mixture of both in this little pot. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the infected areas, and then I'm going to put it on cotton balls and do the same process as I did before, and I'm hoping for a different type of an outcome.
When using chalk pastels, you're really looking for what pigments you want to see in the skin tone itself. You don't just want to use a peach colored skin tone. Everyone's skin tone, including doll skin tones, have primary colors. If you were to use a peach skin tone, it might come off a little bit too orange. When applying the chalk pastels, you would like to pack it on. Don't go in circular motions. When you pack it on, you are laying on the foundation, especially with the first coat. To reach a higher level of pigment, you will need find different layers. And for this, I don't use Mr. Super Clear or anything because it is exactly a pigment. It will stain as pigments do. If you would like to remove the pigment, you can use some rubbing alcohol. It does a great job at removing most pigment. Sometimes there still might be a hint of pigment left, but if that's the case, just let it fade on its own as it will go away. This is not by any means a permanent solution. Just as if you used a marker, it will fade over time. As I said before, chalk pastels are straight up pigment. They will last on the doll's vinyl a lot longer than an alcohol marker or any other wet dye that you might be using. I personally prefer a matte finish, but I know that some people probably don't. But if you have too much pigment, go ahead and take a clean brush and just start wiping it off the face. Then use a damp cotton ball dipped in some water and just rub it along the face. Will take care of most harsh pigments. As you see here, I'm wiping off the excess of Miss Bubble's face as I'm getting her prepared for her repaint. Here you can see how the vinyl looks after, and I simply think it looks fabulous. Before painting, you want to go ahead and dilute that paint pretty well on your brush. That way you have that airbrush streak-free finish, which is very important if you are looking to restore a doll and make it look flawless. This doll did have painted lips before, and they just turned white. I went ahead and used those white lips as my template. That way it could have the closest to looking original lips that this doll could possibly have. And that's always the goal whenever it comes to my restorations. I try to leave everything as original as I possibly can, including lip shapes, as that's very important. Barbie's lips, eye color, and eyebrows can always determine as to what year she's from. Not one 1960s Barbie is alike. Keep your eyes peeled and find the Barbie that speaks the most to you. Build a fashionable world around her, and remember to have fun. So this is how the swirl looks now. And I mean, her skin is completely bleached, and sheesh, it's looking pretty bad. And you might think like her hair is wet, but it's not. Look at that right there. It is so silky. It is so soft. I've never had swirl Barbie hair like this before, like where it is just the silkiest and the prettiest. But again, like, check her out. So I'm not too sure that I can condone the heat method from the heated lamp because this is the outcome. I've not had this happen to my dolls recently with one of my heat lamps, so it might be the new bulb that I got. It might be a little bit too hot. So yeah, just be cautious. Never leave it on while you're asleep. Never leave it on while you leave. Only leave it on if you must do it when you are home, and also monitor your dolls whenever you put it under there. And also on top of that, make sure that it is not too hot because you don't want this outcome. And to be honest, like, it is becoming winter for us all. Like, it's getting into the fall, so you might have to go through that option, but you could also submerge the head into the solution. You could put it in a little glass jar and leave it by your window, put it somewhere where the sun will hit it directly, and you could get the same process. And of course, it will take longer, but it probably will be a better look than this right here. So you can still see like some green on her, like right there, but I swear to you, like, I don't think I could probably even get it out. And besides, her face needs to be recolored anyway, so I figure that with all the recoloring that has to be done, it's going to be just powdered over anywho. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing that I did with the Bubblecut, who also got stained pretty bad with it as well. Again, like, doing this, it's a learning moment, a learning opportunity for you all to see my mistakes, for me to make those mistakes, and for me to learn from those mistakes as well as you all. So
I'm a professional woman.
And here is that lovely Bubblecut. So you can see that her vinyl coloring has truly stayed and is a testament. Check that out. She really looks like nothing was ever wrong with her, and that is the total goal. Also, shout out to my little white ginger. She's so beautiful. I absolutely love her. And shout out to my lemon blonde. I love her too.
She's probably one of my favorite bubbles. We always have to learn from our mistakes and continue moving forward. This whole thing could have been devastating to somebody, but instead of being devastated by what actually happened to these dolls, which is something that I've never had happen to any of them ever before, I've decided to move forward and make the best of it. I'm going to try to put those tips and tricks that I've been teaching everybody on this channel and put them to good use, so that I hope that you all too can see that all of these tips and tricks, they do work, and sometimes they can save your project even when you make those silly little mistakes. I promised this doll that I would restore her in the best way that I can. Unfortunately, it didn't look like that was going to be the case. However, with this particular Barbie, I knew that she was going to be a struggle and a lot of work. And although she still has a tinge of green ear left, I do still think that this will be a better improvement compared to how I originally found her. So here she is after she's been recolored and stuff. Like, she really doesn't look half bad.
If you say so.
If I do say so myself. So we're going to go ahead and do a Swirl Ponytail's hair. Now, I have done this before, but let me do it again just so that we are clear. Quite frankly, I don't remember what video I did that in, but anyway, it might be in a tutorial. It probably is. Who knows? But we're going to look at the hair over here. You will have these really long bits, really long strands. They are right here. So go ahead and separate them from your small short hair. So it looks like our really long ends are all right here. So I'm going to boop. Okay, so this is the really long hair, and you might be like, why are we leaving that aside? This is going to be like your hairband, the thing that goes beyond and over, okay? So we've got that separated. If you want to, you can just put a clip there. Not that it's gonna do much, because this Swirl Ponytail Barbie, she has like some of the most softest swirl hair I think I have ever seen. So we're going to separate her bangs from her first row of hair over here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we got some bangage right here. It is just like so interesting to see like how each of these Barbies are just different. I know that we like to, as collectors, we like to make things as accurate and as factory as possible, especially whenever we are doing a restoration. But just keep in mind, like, these were being like made in a rush, okay? Like, same with like the face paint, even dolls today, like they're not being made by someone named Susan in a workshop, you know, they're being made by somebody who probably is not getting paid the best. And why would they care about something like that?
I'm so glad we had that talk.
So anyway, and now I'm going to see exactly where they are all going to lie. Okay. So they're going to lie right here. Now I'm going to take my hat pin. I'm going to pin it right here, right in place. Again, you don't have to do this. If you think this is just terrible, then don't listen to me. You keep doing it your way. There are multiple ways to do this hairstyle, okay? So check it. There we go. So this is what we're going for. Now this hair is not going to be looped around the ponytail. It's actually this hair right here. Remember that you don't want it up here. You don't want it down here. You want it right where the head ends, right there, okay? That is just how they were designed. That is just how it was. Go. Little swoop. Little swoop. And one more swoop. There we are. Alrighty. Now check that out. So we're gonna leave the swirl right in there. We're gonna leave this hat pin in there. I'm actually going to gel that down, the bangs, whenever I come to it, okay? And now we're going to deal with this part over here. You still may be wondering, why in the hell did I do that? Well, it's very simple. It is long for a reason. Oh! Now usually, I'm gonna say usually, it's down here. But it looks like somebody in the factory left it up here as well. So again, we're just going to keep it as original as possible, wrap around, and that is how it was. Check that out. So now what I'm going to do is, do you see like right over here? Now this should be pretty simple. I'm going to take a little pen right here. Boop. Okay, so you see like where there is some slack right there? Stick it through with your hairpin. Boop. There you go. Okay, now we're going to go back down over here where we can find the rubber band. I'm gonna take the rubber band right here. Let's see if I can get it without getting any hair. Okay, and we're going to put that down in there like so, and then boom. Okay, so now we have got the swirl in there. So that's like the hard part is over. So now you can brush it out, make it look all cute. There we go. See? So when I'm using Barbie gel, even with my diluted gel, I like to use Got to Be Glued over here. I'm gonna use just a little dab. Boop. Just a little dab. I'm gonna run that through my finger. Get that distributed. I'm just gonna run on top. I don't know if they used hair gel for this doll in the factory. I know I do when I get them, because girl, please. Sometimes swirls just be looking crazy. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've got the hair gel in the top of the hair, like so. So now for the bottom of the hair. So here's a choice. When you get swirls, they sometimes are not curled on the bottom. They usually, 9 times out of 10, do not have a hard curl when you find them. It is just a cute little updo, usually. And so we're going to go ahead and get our little piece of rubber band. Again, these are orthodontist rubber bands. I've been using them since I was a preteen on my Barbies because I had braces. I was a brace face. So let's go down here. I don't think I'm going to add a hard curl in my Swirl Ponytail. I just don't think she will need it. She clearly didn't have one whenever I purchased her, and she was really unplayed with it. Okay, so here comes the choice. You could either leave it like this and it would be fine, it would be accurate, or you can make a little hard curl. And to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to gel the hell out of this. So my gel right here. Now, again, let me preface, this is just honestly for aesthetics. You do not have to do this. You do not have to lacquer this thick gel into your doll's hair. You don't need to. This is just for aesthetics, please. Let me just tell you. I'm going to go down here. Boop. Do that. And I'm going to just curl up if I can. Okay. Flip it up like so. There we go. So that is going to be our hard curl for the moment. So when that is all nice and dry, she will have that nice little hard curl that you could, you know, pin in the back, and then it would look all fine and stuff. But as you can see, like with this Barbie, the stain treatment really did kind of mess her up in a way. Like with her face, it is very hyper pale. You can still see some of the green poking through right around here. Of course, it's not as bad as what she once was. Is this going to be my best restoration?
No.
Probably not. But I do feel it's important to show even the failures and important to show the progress, because this could help you all out. You know, each chemical that you put on the doll will have its different side effects. Like with CLR, your dolls will kind of like turn into like a brown over time. It's happened to mine. With acne cream, your dolls will develop a film and the heads might even shrink. It's happened to mine. And it's a film that will stain the paint that you just can't get it to stop taking out the pigment. Like it takes pigment out of everything, which it should. It is peroxide. With this, I've seen that if you do leave it in the liquid a long time, it does turn into like a clear, translucent green type of a look, like what she had and what the Bubblecut had. So again, we are kind of right back to the drawing board where that is concerned. With these very, you know, tough cases right here, I don't know. I personally, from what I've learned, if I find a doll that has a lot of green, I'm probably not going to buy her. I'm probably going to use her as a body donor, because there are a lot of heads out there who need a good body, but also on top of that, it's a lot of work. Like if this happened to a regular person who wasn't as crafty as I am or experienced as I am in doll restoration, they would have thought that they ruined the doll. And like, honestly, depending on who you ask, this doll is still, you know, ruined in some people's eyes. So again, it's really up to whoever's opinion you ask. It's up to what you feel comfortable with. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that every rose has its thorn, and there is no 100% way of telling you that this works better than the other, this has better side effects than the other. Like, it all has its own side effect. And I think it's just as important to tell you that, so that way you don't run into the same problems, say, that I have. But again, like, I've had success with the heat lamp, and I've had quick success with the barkeeper's friend, but I'm just saying, like, prolonged, more than a week, let's say, you know, a few months, it does bleach everything and it turns the vinyl like this weird translucent green. So I do think it's important to show that. Here we have her hair done, and it's got the little hard curl on the end, and her face is looking pretty good. You still see a little tinge of green there, but that's okay. She's looking a lot better than how she looked originally whenever I purchased her. So that is all for the better. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the silk ribbon. So I'm going to use 100% silk. I get this from Walmart. Go ahead and look at it. You can get it at walmart.com. It is not in store at Walmart, so don't even try to go search for it. It is a third party that sells on Walmart, like they let people do on Amazon. So I will go ahead and cut a bit of it out. Now, I've had 2 examples, so I've never seen one that is actually fully tied in a bow in the back. So you just do this. And this is all you do, folks. Let's get this turned around. Faces the side that I want. Take your scissors and trim. There you go. So that is exactly how it would have been. She originally had a silk ribbon in the back of her hair whenever I first got her, but it was dry rotted, and as soon as it touched water, it just disintegrated. So that is what will happen. So you can either leave it like this. When they were brand new, they were sold with a bobby pin, a little Barbie bobby pin that would pin their hair to the back of their head like so. I don't have one of those, but what I do have is what I use for my other ponytails. I take a piece of thread and I try to make it match the hair as close as I possibly can. And I'm basically going to go underneath the vinyl, like right to the neck peg. So like right down in there so you can't see it. It's not exposed. I'm going to go around to the back. And then I'm going to go under the silk ribbon, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull nice and taut. So when you do that, it gives you the same look as what it would have been if you did have that bobby pin in there. It gives it that same little bouffanty look, which is what we are going for, and it is what they were going for as well. So go ahead and go in, and there we go. Okay. When you tie it off like so, where it's got a knot on the end, you can go ahead and just cut off the excess thread. And then there you go. So she is ready to be shown. And here they are completed. So we'll start off with the swirl. Now, I think I did a pretty good job on her considering everything she's been through. Again, you were kind of hard pressed to find these dolls without any green ear. They seem to be the ones who have it the most. And maybe it's the complicated hairstyle they had that, you know, children didn't really like that much, so they really didn't play with them that much. But they are the most common to find with green ear in my experience. It could also be because that they were produced for a very short period of time until Barbie advanced herself again and came out with bendable legs. So, you know, there's probably a lot of reasons as to why they always seemed to end up with their earrings still intact. But I put her in the Barbie fashion. Barbie learns to cook. I was a child whenever the reproduction came out for this, and it was probably the one thing I really wanted, and I don't know why exactly that doll really spoke to me. I just knew that I wanted it so bad. I loved the outfit. I loved the shoes. I loved the little pot holder, the pots and pans she came with. I loved the blonde hair. They had a lemon blonde, and she like had these beautiful pink lips. And I just remember looking at her in the catalogs and online and just being so enamored with it. But this is the actual vintage outfit right here. I don't have that reproduction. But yeah, there we go. And then this is also her restoration. I think that she does look rather good compared to how she arrived at my house. Okay, so next doll up will be this Bubblecut. So the green is completely gone from her. And again, she did face the same bleaching problem as what the swirl did. But I recolored her using the chalk pastel method. Now I will say to everybody that is watching, they are straight up pigments. You want to try it out. If it is your first time trying it out, do it somewhere discreet. Do it on the back of the head. Make sure that you can do it before full frontal on the doll's face so that you see it all the time. This stuff will fade, especially if you diffuse it with rubbing alcohol. It will fade. You don't have to use any chemicals, especially like if you leave it in the sun for a day, it will tend to fade. It is just straight up pigment. I like it because it gives them a matte finish whenever you are done. So it looks more original than the marker method, but again, what works for me may not work for you. Just do it at your own risk and make sure that you try it out on some tester dolls before you try it out on your beloved dolls. That is if you are apprehensive about doing it. Now, would I use the heated lamp again? Yes. But I'm going to do it like I had done before. I'm going to get a regular light bulb instead of getting a heated light bulb. I'm also not going to use the foam by itself. I'm going to mix it with the Barkeeper's Friend paste as well. I've had more success with using that instead of just using straight up foam, as the heat mixed with the foam did bleach the skin, and leave it with a green tint. If you do use a lamp to simulate a humid climate, just be careful and don't leave it plugged in whenever you're not at home. There is nothing wrong using the sun, by the way. The sun is is the best way that I have found to get rid of these stains and or greenear. However, included with direct sunlight, you will need the heat as well. And as it is turning fall and winter, you might have to put these stain removal and greenear treatments on the back burner until it becomes a little bit more toasty outside. Techniques are not for everyone, but I am here to help you and not tell you what to do. Sometimes I don't have all the answers, but I am willing to try and experiment on my own dolls. And although the greenear removal part of this video was rather scary, I do think that we were able to bring them back to life still and give them a new lease on life. And sure, these two will never be mint, may never even appear to be mint, but I still do think that they look lovely. If I want a mint doll, I would have never purchased this doll or this doll. I purchased them because I thought that they were bargains and I thought I could do some work on them and make them look better, and I honestly think I succeeded. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye-bye.